Good afternoon. It's Sunday, September the 15th, and it is a very, very, very nice day. It's calm, the water is low, there's lots of birds, and let's go for a walkabout at the cottage. This is my son-in-law's wildlife camera, and I anticipate we've got some pictures of the bear. That he has some pictures of the bear that's been taken over the last 2 weeks, because the bushes just behind it were pulled down and snagged underneath the picnic table, the chokecherry bushes. So, and all the chokecherries from that bush are gone, so I presume that's been the bear. So, let's walk to the front and see what we've got here today. As I said, it's very, very calm today, and the water is unusually low. It's been low all summer. And it's been a very quiet weekend. There haven't been very many people out. And those that have been out have been quiet. There's been several boats on the lake fishing. It's just a pleasant, pleasant day. See, there's how low the water is. Here, I'm going to sit down over here because I want to show something I'm thinking about doing. Let's see if I can find this now. It's a bit hard in the light. Let me go to the rock. Then I'm going to go in front of the rock. The water's been very low this year. And consequently, we have all this growth in front of our beach area. And now a lot of it are, I'll just say annuals, but there are some willows in there. And I've struggled to get willows planted at the front of the property every year. It's 3 years in a row I've planted them, and 3 years in a row I believe I've had 100% failure. So what I'm going to do for this year is find some of the willows that are at the front in this very, very low area in front of the beach and transplant this area. Once water goes back up to its normal level, everything here will be drowned. So I'm going to transplant some of the willows up closer to the drop-off, not up high, but below on the beach. And since they've adapted quite well to those conditions, to the beach conditions, we'll see how they do down there. What Lynn, my daughter, says is that to do it after freeze up. So, or certainly getting close to freeze up. So probably after the October long weekend, I'll come down, find half a dozen of these willows, and then move them closer to the shore. And where they're going to go is at the bottom of the rocks. It's a little bit hard for me to see here, but just at the bottom of the rocks, and I'll find some places where I can dig them in, and I'll dig a hole and put compost in, and probably in about half a dozen locations from, I'll say, the edge of our property here, and space them somewhat across the front. I'll leave this front gap between Felix's little house and this rock. Probably leave that open, and then the rocks will serve. The willows will start again here and go all the way to the edge of the public path on the east side of the property. So that's the plan, and we'll see if that will help to protect the front. So down here, as I said, there's a lot of, I'll say, weeds, but it's growth that wants to cover bare areas. And some of it are grasses, but there are willows in there, and it's the willows I want to get, particularly the ones that are the furthest in, furthest away, because they will definitely drown. Because water, there has been sand up in this rocky area here, but the sand has all disappeared over the summer, so the water's been high on a couple of occasions and then dropped back down. And typically it's been high most years. So this material, all this green material will drown. But if I can rescue some of it and get it closer to the edge, to the bottom of the rocks, then that will start to get some stability into this. And if some of these willows continue to thrive, we will protect them as much as we can. And if we can grow out the shore, that would be just great. So let's go for a quick walk around here. Getting a lot of these asters now in this area. I haven't seen them. This is about 2 years now that they've been growing here, or growing on the property. And in prior years I'd never seen them, but this year they're in quite a few spots, so that's good. I quite enjoy seeing them. There's a lot of grass in here, and I don't understand why. Is that I'm surprised that the bush doesn't regenerate itself. It just turns into grass. Hello. And if you just look through, you can see grass everywhere in here, and no longer bush. Very unusual. So is there something to do with how water flows underneath and discourages roots of hazelnuts and saskatoons? I don't know. But you can see on this side, grass into the bush, and definitely on this side. Someone is not very happy on the beach. So let's go this way. See here, more of these asters. There are a lot of them here, and that's nice to see. And there's some in the bush here. Let me go back here. See, I'm complaining about the grass, and I've got asters growing in the bush, and I'm quite happy with that. Well, let's see if I can find it in here. Somewhere in this. Somewhere in here. There we go. Well, these are the asters that are out of focus. No, won't quite focus in there, but there they are. Oh, there they are. So, more asters. And over here, more asters. Oh, they're all through here. And then if you look further back, again, I think that's where they are. There we go. So those are nice to see. So, there might be more in here too. As I step carefully through here. Oh, there we go. There's the back. And more through here. And here. And here. Oh, I have a balsam tree here. I'm not convinced I need that. That may not survive. Let's go this way. Watch out for the bear. Material on the ground here. Don't step in that. That's not good. More asters in the area. We'll go this way just to see what the public path looks like. It's quite, feels humid in here. Very nice. So here's a public path one way. And it's exactly the right amount of opening that I like, as in none. As a public path, it doesn't go anywhere. There's nothing down here to see. Here's the other part of it. I was going to trim it out here, but I've decided to just let it fill in like this. And it becomes part of the untrammeled bush. Now, I do have something to show you this way. And it's September, fall. And, so here's some of the remaining choke cherries. Let's see what they taste like here. Well, they certainly have that tart taste, but they're not as sour as they typically are. This has been a good year for choke cherries. They're reasonably sweet, and Saskatoons as well. Now that was earlier. They were probably picked a month ago. Now look at this. We'll come up this way and get a better angle. Better, because right now I'm pointing in the sun. Here's the path to our neighbors. Oh. And oops, I had that on a bit too far, so let's go forward. More asters. This is the first spot I saw them. And if they continue to grow, that's great. Now, but look at this. Come here. And then down. This is a puffball mushroom. Evidently it's edible. I don't want to take the chance. But it is edible. And it looks like somebody has stepped on this side of it. Somebody or something. And because it didn't pierce it, I'd say it's a reasonably big animal. I'd go with bear. To have sort of stepped his foot on one side of it. Now, I had a puffball mushroom that I harvested from here probably 25 years ago. And that was last fall. I spread several of the spores around this area. This could be one of them. But what any mushrooms are a great indicator of soil health. This is a fruit. When you see a mushroom on the surface, this is a fruit of a fungal tree that's underground. And you don't typically ever will see the tree, even if you dig into the ground, because it's so fine. But seeing the fruit implies that the tree underneath is very healthy and vigorous, which is an indicator of good soil conditions. So, here we go for that. Let's come around this way. Speaking of mushrooms, there's all my, here are my oak logs, each one identified with a copper tag as to when I put mushroom plugs in here, and they still haven't borne fruit after, I think that's 2 years now. Now it's been quite dry, so perhaps it will be next spring, excuse me. Here's where the outhouse is supposed to go, though at the moment I'm having a challenge finding my builder, who seems to have disappeared off of the or is not answering his emails. There are a few chipmunks in the area. A few. I say a few because many would imply that there isn't a fox around the area. We know there is. Okay, and here's the path at the back of the cottage that I've discovered is very, very handy to walk on. Now, I did scatter in this area yesterday. I did scatter seeds of white coneflowers along with some compost, and it's just thrown in all this area. So we'll see if some of them are successful. Perhaps this winter they'll be lodged into the ground by the snow, and we'll start to see some coneflowers in this area. I've decided I'm taking down all these, taking apart all these flower boxes. They're all destroyed. I will save the soil, and I will save the logos that are on the front. And I need to build more. And here we have some poplar trees. And my original goal was to get rid of them, but I think I'm going to let them grow and see how well they do. I will clear out there's others, still got some carragana. Hasn't quite all gone yet. And there are ferns in here, though this year the ferns really hunkered down because it's been very dry. So I'm expecting them to recover for next year, because there are a lot of ferns planted in here. So now, unfortunately, this poplar underneath a pine tree, I mean, there's just literally nowhere for it to go. I have to go up through this. So I don't think that one's going to stay. Here's the seat. Let's go sit down here. And the beauty of this seat is exactly for what's occurring now. This is a very nice spot in which to sit. Now we need more definition. It's too just bland green all the way from here and up. But what I plan to do is to plant native plants in here. Oh, wait, that's right. There was coneflower seeds through this whole area, and then along the path across the back of the cottage. So I plan to add more flowers or more native plants into there, and see if that will displace some of the more, I'll say, uninteresting and weedier elements as to what's here. So, there's the backyard. There's our yard for now. A very, very nice spot. And I see I'm just coming up to 20 minutes. So I think that's going to be it for today. Our guardian is working quite well with his partner. And the two of them will look after our place over the winter. We're down for one more week, and then it will be after the long weekend when we can return. And with that, I'll say greetings and salutations.